Hi, I'm Lana. I've always been the practical type. The kind who plans 5 years ahead and never jumps into anything without thinking it through. That's why what happened with Michael and his family still blows my mind. We'd been dating for 2 years. Michael worked at the same marketing firm as me, always bringing me coffee and making me laugh during those endless strategy meetings. Things moved pretty fast between us. After 6 months, we were practically living at each other's apartments. You should meet my family this weekend. Mom's been asking about you for months. I was nervous, but excited. Little did I know I was walking into a lion's den. Diane, Michael's mom, answered the door with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. So you're the girl taking up all my son's time. Come in, I suppose. Jessica, his sister, was worse. She looked me up and down like I was something she found stuck to her shoe. Michael usually dates blondes. Guess he's going through a phase. Robert, Michael's dad, just sat in his recliner, nodding along to whatever Diane said. Not once did he step in when the comments got nasty. Do they always treat your girlfriends like this? I asked Michael on the drive home. Like what? That's just how they show love. You're being sensitive. My best friend Emma saw through it immediately. Those people are toxic as hell, Lana. The way you described that dinner? Run for the hills. Even Tyler, Michael's childhood friend, warned me one night when we were all out for drinks. Just watch yourself with his family. They've run off every girlfriend he's ever had. They think no one's good enough. I brushed it off. Classic relationship mistake. Things got worse at every family gathering. Diane would accidentally spill wine on my clothes. Jessica would make comments about my quaint apartment or how I was clearly not ready for someone like Michael. Your mom asked if I was with you for your money. You don't even make that much more than me. Michael just laughed. She's protective. It's sweet. Sweet wasn't the word I'd use. Last Christmas, Diane got me a gym membership. Just thinking of your health, dear. And Jessica cornered me in the bathroom. Don't get comfortable. He'll get bored eventually. Then came my birthday dinner. Michael had insisted on celebrating at this fancy restaurant with both our friends and his family. Emma was there shooting warning glances across the table as Diane criticized everything from my job to my dress. Tyler tried changing the subject several times, but Jessica kept steering it back to my flaws. Then suddenly, Michael was out of his chair, down on one knee, ring box open. Lana, you're the one. Will you marry me? The restaurant went quiet. Diane's face turned to stone. Jessica looked like she might explode. Robert stared at his plate. Emma gripped my hand under the table, a silent warning. And me? I froze, looking at the man I thought I loved, surrounded by people who clearly hated me, asking me to legally bind myself to their toxic family forever. The words caught in my throat as everyone waited for my answer. I forced a smile and asked Michael if we could talk outside. The restaurant had gotten uncomfortably quiet, with everyone waiting for my answer. As we stepped into the cool night air, my hands were shaking. I can't say yes right now. This is too sudden, and we've never even discussed marriage. Michael's face darkened. What do you mean you can't? Do you know how embarrassing this is? I planned this for weeks. That's exactly the problem. You planned this huge public proposal without ever asking what I wanted. I need time. He shoved the ring box in his pocket. Fine. Whatever. Let's just go back inside and forget it. The rest of the dinner was painfully awkward. Emma kept giving me supportive glances while Diane and Jessica whispered to each other, occasionally shooting daggers at me with their eyes. The following week was tense. Michael barely spoke to me, and when he did, it was short, clipped responses. Then came Sunday dinner at his parents' house, an obligation he insisted I couldn't miss. They're expecting you. Just show up and be normal. The moment I walked through the door, I knew something was wrong. Robert mumbled a greeting before disappearing into his study. Jessica smirked as she passed me in the hallway. Hope you're not planning to stick around much longer. You've caused enough drama. Diane was in the kitchen, aggressively chopping vegetables. Well, look who decided to grace us with her presence after humiliating my son. I didn't humiliate anyone. I just wasn't ready for a public proposal. Not ready? After 2 years? What exactly are you waiting for? Another man with more money? I tried to defend myself. That's not fair. I love Michael, but marriage is a big step. Jessica entered the kitchen, closing the door behind her. You know what's not fair? Stringing my brother along while you keep your options open? I backed up against the counter. That's not what I'm doing. Diane pointed her knife in my direction. He told us everything. How you've been distant lately, probably cheating. What? I've never cheated. Michael knows that. Jessica moved closer. You made him look like a fool in front of everyone. Our family has a reputation. Before I could respond, Jessica shoved me hard against the refrigerator. My head knocked against it with a thud. When I tried to move away, Diane grabbed my arm, her nails digging into my skin. You ungrateful little bitch. My son deserves better. That's when Jessica slapped me across the face. I was so shocked I couldn't even scream. Diane held me in place as Jessica hit me again, this time in the stomach. Stop! Michael! Help! I screamed when I found my voice. The kitchen door opened. Michael stood there, watching as his mother and sister assaulted me. Tell them to stop! Please! He just stood there, saying nothing. Jessica grabbed my hair, yanking my head back. Are you going to marry him or not? This is insane. Let me go. I managed to break free, pushing past Michael, who still hadn't moved a muscle. My cheek was burning, and I could feel a bruise forming on my arm. I grabbed my purse and ran for the door. Michael finally spoke as I fumbled with the lock. Lana, don't make this a bigger deal than it is. They're just upset. I turned to him, tears streaming down my face. They assaulted me, and you did nothing. We're done. Completely done. I slammed the door of Emma's apartment behind me, my hands still shaking. My cheek was throbbing where Jessica had hit me, and fingerprint bruises were forming on my arm. Oh my God, Lana! What happened to you? Emma rushed over, guiding me to her couch. His family. They attacked me, in the kitchen, and Michael just stood there and watched. While Emma got me ice for my face, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing with texts from Michael. It's not that bad. You're overreacting. Mom and Jess are just protective. Emma took my phone. I'm calling Tyler. He needs to know what his best friend's family did. Within 30 minutes, Tyler was at the apartment, his face falling when he saw my bruises. Jesus Christ. They actually hit you? I knew they were toxic, but this is criminal. You don't seem surprised, I said, watching his reaction carefully. Tyler sighed heavily. Remember Vanessa? The girl Michael dated before you? Vaguely, he hardly ever mentioned her. There's a reason. Same situation. She wasn't good enough for precious Michael. Diane and Jessica terrorized her. I heard rumors they got physical once, but Vanessa moved away right after they broke up. Do you think she'd talk to me? I still have her number. She might. The next morning, I met Vanessa at a coffee shop across town. When she pulled up her sleeve to show me the scar from where Diane had accidentally pushed her into a glass cabinet, something clicked. They're monsters, and they've been getting away with it for years. Nobody ever believes it, Vanessa said. The Caldwells are such a respected family in this town. I took photos of my bruises and went to urgent care for documentation. The doctor looked concerned as she examined me. This is consistent with assault. Would you like me to contact the police? Not yet. I need more evidence first. Over the next week, Emma, Tyler, and I created a plan. Tyler reached out to 3 other women who'd dated Michael before. 2 agreed to give statements about the family's behavior. The county fundraiser is in 2 weeks, Tyler mentioned during our strategy session. The Caldwells always attend. Diane is on the planning committee. Perfect, Emma said. Very public, lots of witnesses. I bought a small recording device and started carrying it everywhere. When Michael called begging to meet just to talk, I was ready. We met at a park. His apology was exactly what I expected. They were just emotional about the proposal. You know how much family means to them? So assault is okay if you're emotional? It wasn't assault, Lana. Don't be dramatic. Little did he know everything was being recorded. I discovered Jessica worked out at my gym. One day, I deliberately positioned myself nearby, pretending not to notice her. She couldn't resist approaching. Got the message yet? Stay away from my brother? Is that what you told all his exes before you attacked them too? Her eyes widened. You've been talking to that bitch Vanessa? She was pathetic, just like you. Another perfect recording. By the fundraiser eve, we had statements from 4 ex-girlfriends, medical documentation, recordings of both Michael and Jessica essentially admitting what happened, and 3 witnesses who'd seen the aftermath of my assault. Tomorrow, the whole town will see who the Caldwells really are, I said, reviewing our evidence one last time. Emma squeezed my hand. Are you ready for this? More than ready. They thought they could break me. Instead, they gave me the power to break them. The fundraiser venue sparkled with decorations as I walked in with Emma and Tyler. Diane was greeting guests near the entrance, her fake smile dropping when she spotted me. You have some nerve showing up here? I wouldn't miss it for the world, Diane. We positioned ourselves near the stage where the charity presentations would happen. Michael approached, looking nervous. Can we talk privately? This is getting out of hand. Too late for that. Jessica appeared beside him, hissing through her teeth. You need to leave, now. Actually, I'm on the program tonight. Their confused expressions were priceless. Tyler had arranged for me to present a special community awareness segment with the event organizer's approval. When my turn came, I took the stage confidently. Tonight, I'd like to address something happening right here in our community: domestic abuse and assault. The crowd murmured as the first slide appeared, my medical photos alongside Vanessa's. These are injuries inflicted by members of a respected local family. I played the audio recordings. Jessica's voice filled the room. Got the message yet? Stay away from my brother. Then Michael's. It wasn't assault, Lana. Don't be dramatic. Diane lunged toward the stage, screaming. She's lying! Turn that off! 2 police officers I'd arranged to be present stepped forward, blocking her path. Mrs. Caldwell, we've received multiple reports and evidence regarding assault allegations against you and your daughter. The room erupted in chaos. Robert sat frozen in shock while Jessica tried to flee, only to be stopped at the door. This is Officer Garcia, I continued over the commotion. If anyone else has experienced abuse from the Caldwell family, he's taking statements tonight. 3 women I'd never met approached the officer immediately. Michael pushed through the crowd toward me, face contorted with rage. You planned this whole thing? You're destroying my family. You did that yourself when you watched them assault me and did nothing. 2 days later, both Diane and Jessica were formally charged with assault. The evidence was overwhelming, with 7 victims now coming forward. Michael's company fired him after multiple employees reported he'd been covering up his family's abusive behavior for years. Robert finally filed for divorce from Diane after 40 years of marriage, admitting he'd been too cowardly to stop her behavior. Michael showed up at my apartment a week later, flowers in hand. I was wrong. I should have protected you. Can you ever forgive me? No, not now, not ever. Those bruises healed, but knowing you stood there and watched, that never will. I've lost everything because of you. You lost everything because of what you and your family did. Now please leave before I call the police. 6 months later, I started a support group for survivors of family abuse. The Caldwell's family business collapsed after clients pulled out. Diane and Jessica were sentenced to community service and mandatory therapy, but the social punishment was far worse. They became pariahs in town. At our 1-year anniversary meeting, Emma raised her glass. To Lana, who turned pain into power. And to everyone here who did the same, I added, looking around at the circle of strong survivors, including Vanessa, who had moved back to town. Some scars remain, but they're reminders of what I survived and how I made sure justice was served to those who thought they could break me. What would you have done if you were in Lana's position? Would you have publicly exposed the Caldwells at the fundraiser, or would you have handled it differently? Is public justice sometimes necessary when private accountability fails? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story of standing up against toxic relationships, hit the like button and subscribe for more compelling stories just like this one. Your support helps our channel grow and lets us know what kind of content you want to see next.